I just sailed on the Norwegian Prima, and there's some hidden fees that you need to be aware of. I'm going to give you my full ship tour and my honest review, so let's talk about it. Let's start with the activities on the Prima that other cruise ships just don't have. First, we'll start with the Go-Kart Track. This is a 3-deck Go-Kart track. It's fully electric and honestly pretty impressive, but it does come at a cost. It's about $15 per person per ride. Next is the Wave Water Slide, which is really fun tube slide, but during my sailing, it really didn't seem to be running consistently, so I'm not exactly sure what the situation was, but let me know in the comments if you've been on this water slide before and what it was like. Now moving into the stadium area, this is where you'll find things like beer pong, ping pong, pickleball, mini golf, and darts. But there's something you need to know. This is the extra cost I was talking about before, so let's get into it. Mini golf is about $5 per person, and darts is around $10 for a 30-minute time slot. Everything is electronically scored and the charges go directly to your cruise card. And this goes for the Speedway as well. So right away you start to notice that not everything on board is included as you may expect. Next is the Galaxy Pavilion Arcade, which I was very impressed at how large it actually was. But again, this is one of those things that is an extra cost, and we're going to break this down. There's a mix of VR games and classic arcade games, and it feels more modern than most cruise ships I've been on. You can also buy an unlimited arcade pass, which was about $170 US, but it only applies to certain games, those with the green swipe. And there are swipe limits. You can only play 3 swipes per 3 minutes. After that, you will be locked out temporarily for 15 minutes at a time. So again, it's a great space, but it is important to know that there is an extra fee and how this actually works. And this theme of unexpected or hidden costs will become a little bit clearer later on. Now let's talk about one of my favorite parts in the entire Norwegian Prima ship, Ocean Boulevard. This is deck 8 and it wraps around the entire ship, giving you these incredible ocean and port views the entire way around. It's honestly one of the most relaxing areas on board, especially for a sunrise or sunset. You can grab a coffee and just walk the full loop. And it's something I think Norwegian really does better than a lot of other cruise lines. I really did enjoy these day beds that were along Ocean Boulevard. You had to get out quite early in the morning to grab one of these, but you have beautiful ocean views and there's almost like a little splash pool around the daybed that you can kind of splash around and cool off if you want to stick your feet in there and cool down. And there's actually one more really unique feature of this area that sets the Norwegian Prima apart, and we're going to come back to this later. Now let's move on to the main pool deck and waves bar. This is where a lot of your entertainment is going to be. This is where most of the daytime energy is, dance parties, crew activities, music, and the big outdoor screen. But I do want to be honest, the pool itself is actually quite small for the size of the ship. That's something they've improved on newer ships like the Aqua and Luna class, but on the Prima, it can feel crowded at peak times. Here's a pro tip. If you want to enjoy the Prima pool, come back on port days when almost everybody's off the ship and you can enjoy the pool and relaxation. Now let's talk about the cabins. I actually booked a balcony cabin, which is usually my go-to on most cruises, so let's break this down. I was pleasantly surprised by the space. There was a great under-the-bed storage, the layout made the room feel larger than expected, and the bathroom, especially the shower, was one of the biggest I've seen in a standard balcony. Even small details like the balcony chairs having cushions made it feel just a bit more comfortable and upgraded than a typical cruise cabin. So overall, cabin experience, definitely a positive. Now let's talk about the food, because this is something that's really important, especially for first-time cruisers. First, the included dining options. You've got 2 main dining rooms, Hudson's and the Commodore room, which offer full sit-down 3-course meals that change nightly. Then there's the Indulge food hall, which is a really unique concept with multiple food stations ranging from Indian to Latin to barbecue, and you order all your food from a tablet at your table. There's also the Surfside Buffet, which covers all meals throughout the day, and this is your main buffet on the cruise. So there are really good included options on the cruise. So now here's the part you really need to understand, specialty dining. There are 7 specialty dining restaurants on board, and they range from about $40 to $70 US per person. And here's the key tip. If you book these, you need to do it early. On embarkation day, reservations fill up fast, and that's exactly why priority boarding can actually matter on this ship. We actually saw people lining up early just to secure dinner times. So while the food is good on board, your experience really depends on how well you plan ahead. And as I hinted earlier in regards to Ocean Boulevard, on the Prima, you can enjoy your specialty dining outside if you choose to have your meals with beautiful ocean views. This is something different and that I really love about the NCL Prima. One of the other options that does actually cost an extra fee is the Starbucks on board. This is not included in your regular free at sea package, but if you upgrade to the free at sea plus, which I have a full video, I'll link in the description, It will be included. Now let's talk about the main atrium, because this is where a lot of your nightly activities are going to take place. It's visually stunning. When you first walk in, this is the first thing you see when boarding the ship. But it's also where you find trivia, game shows, and nightly entertainment like the Newlywed Game or crew talent shows. There's also a central bar here. It's called the Atrium Bar, and honestly, the bartenders were excellent throughout the cruise. The Vibe Beach Club on board is another paid access area. This area has lounge chairs, your own bar, some hot tubs, and you do have to purchase this pass before you're sailing or once you're on board. There is also Vibe Beach Club access on Great Stirrup Cay, but if you're looking for somewhere on the ship that's a little bit more quiet and secluded, then I would recommend checking out the Vibe Beach Club. There are kids clubs on board, as most cruise lines have, and this is a quick peek at the teens club Entourage. One of the optional upgrades on the NCL Prima is priority boarding. I hinted out this earlier. I think that this is something that's really worth the money. If you want to check out my full video on it, it's up here. I really do think this is one thing you can purchase that will make your cruise absolutely amazing. I've got a full food breakdown for my sailing on NCL Prima coming up soon, so be sure to like and subscribe. I'm Ashley Neal. I'll see you next time.